crewmates, my name's Miriam, and welcome to All Aboard, a YouTube channel dedicated entirely to character ships, animated, literary, or otherwise. Today we'll be looking at a canon ship from the 8th Key by Laura Ware. I give you Lucian and Corwin. Full disclosure, the publisher's founder happens to be a friend of mine, and his wife, who I've met exactly once, is the author of this book. Neither of them asked me to do this, but I felt I should mention it just so you're aware of any potential bias. Of which there is none, because I would have loved this book regardless of friend status. Before we begin our voyage, a brief synopsis that completely avoids the main plot. The book follows Lucian, a bard, who encounters the shadow mage Corwin. The two travel to Corwin's guild, and they fall in love along the way. Which is the whole reason we're here. Lucian and Corwin's first meeting in Chapter 1, while not unpleasant, doesn't exactly show signs of attraction between the two men. Though, in the very next chapter, Lucian turns on the flirt. And it is abundantly clear that Lucian is, at the very least, attracted to Corwin by the end of Chapter 2. Although things seem to escalate quickly, at no point do these feelings feel rushed. The book is written in such a way that there is a very smooth transition from Lucian feeling nothing to slowly falling in love with Corwin. An interesting thing about this ship is that a lot of the initial attraction is tied to the magic they feel from each other. Even when Lucian playfully flirts with Corwin, mistakenly believing their attraction is mutual, a lot of Lucian's desire is centered on feeling the other man's magic, which becomes a major point of concern for Corwin. And it's at this point I feel I should mention there are a lot of sex scenes. Explicit sex scenes. This book was advertised as a high fantasy erotica, and well, that's exactly what it is. I won't be discussing the sex scenes in any kind of detail, but I will say they are actually plot relevant, at least partially because of how magic's intertwined in those instances. Also, since the majority of the book is from Lucian's perspective, it is very fun to see him resistant to falling in love, despite things such as unfamiliar warmth in his chest and a small surge of jealousy. That resistance lasts right up until Chapter 9, when Lucian finally realizes that he wants Corwin to stick around. And by Chapter 11, Lucian is so head over heels for Corwin that he agrees to the mage equivalent of marriage, called bonding. Now, we are about to head into major spoiler territory. There is a link in the description below where you can buy this book. You have been warned. Bonding in this world is something where two mage partners will always know the location and feelings of each other. Shortly after Lucian and Corwin form their bond, they lose it. And Lucian is a massive baby about it. Before I go on, I have some thoughts. While cute in theory, I find bonding potentially awkward. But that's my personal opinion. In context, I think their decision to bond was a little unhealthy. As I mentioned earlier, their initial attraction was largely due to the magic shared between them. This is something even Corwin was worried about early on. While they do grow to love each other independently, many of Lucian's feelings surrounding Corwin's magic are a little uncomfortable. It seems to me that Lucian went through with the bonding from a rather unhealthy perspective. My objections aside, there were plot reasons for the bond to even be suggested in the first place, so it's not like it came out of nowhere, and it did make following events easier. But I still think it's a good thing they lost it. The way Lucian mopes over the lost bond shows that making it may not have been the healthiest decision. He even fights with Corwin, his lover, over it. Luckily, Lucian gets sense talked into him later and actually starts speaking with Corwin again. As I said, I like that they lost the bond. Without it, Lucian and Corwin can grow more as a couple, as themselves, without being defined by a potentially unhealthy attachment. At least that's the case for Lucian, because apparently Corwin could still feel it on his side. Though by the end of the book, Lucian certainly has a healthier approach to it than he did going into it, so win-win. And it's certainly a win for me because the end gave me a happy couple ready for the next adventure. See you on the next voyage.